How to microinject, Part 1. The crucial first step for a successful microinjection is to properly diagnose the tree's problem. Once the diagnosis has been made, the microinjections can begin. This section will teach you the basic mechanics of how to do Mauget microinjections. Mauget microinject procedure. The key components of microinjecting are knowing when, where, how many capsules are needed, and the amount of material, the dosage, to use. We will discuss the fundamentals of microinjections, such as how to use the capsules and other techniques Mauget recommends. When to inject. As discussed in the tree physiology section of the Mauget Applicator training, trees vary in their ability to take up different materials. The prime time for microinjections is when trees have emerged from winter dormancy. Make microinjections when soil temperatures are above 44 degrees Fahrenheit. Leaves are expanding and have expanded to at least a ½ inch. Species vary in how far the leaves need to be expanded before injection. Inject maples and dogwoods when leaves are fully expanded. As you gain more experience with the different species, assessing these factors will become easier. When to inject. The first 4 conditions: full sun or partially cloudy, warm, light wind or breeze, rain in forecast. These weather conditions will directly impact the ability of the tree to take up the material and the time it takes to complete an application. Good soil moisture before and after an injection will impact the ability of the tree to translocate the material throughout the tree. Rainfall won't wash this application away. If rain is in the forecast, watering after treatment may not be necessary. When not to inject. Some trees will shut down when there are extremely high temperatures in an effort to conserve moisture. This can result in leaf phytotoxicity, as seen in this photo. High humidity will also result in slow uptake and could cause phytotoxicity. For the best possible results, either schedule injections early in the morning when high daytime temperatures are predicted, or reschedule to another day when temperatures are more moderate. When not to inject. Don't inject when soil moisture is low, less than 65%. Irrigate both before and after any injections if needed to increase transpiration, improve chemical uptake. The majority of roots are in the top 10 inches of the soil. Soil moisture at this depth is the most desirable condition for successful microinjection. The soil should not be saturated, but evenly moist. If there has been a prolonged dry spell preceding the scheduled treatment, apply water at least 24 to 48 hours before injection. If you think the customer or homeowner can water the tree, have them do so before you try to inject. However, it may be necessary for you to water the trees yourself to ensure the proper amount of soil moisture. Check the moisture levels in the root zone before starting the application. Where to inject. Many years have been spent evaluating the best placement of the capsules on the tree. From these years of trial and error, Mauget has established the best placement of the microinjection capsules and other injections. Inject around the base of the tree, working as close to the ground as practical. Inject on the top or sides of buttress roots for optimum distribution of material. Why inject at the base of a tree? Inject at the top or sides of the buttress roots. Correct placement of the capsules has several benefits. An active sap stream will result in faster chemical uptake. There is a thicker xylem layer that will provide a thicker target area for the injection site. Better, faster wound response. Better distribution of chemicals throughout the entire tree canopy. Microinjection placement. Injection site placement from best to least desirable. Ideal injection sites are 1. Mid to top root buttress region, and 2. Lower root buttress region. Next would be the 3. Root or 4. Stem trunk area. And least desirable would be 5. Near an existing wound, and or 6. Valleys between flares. Can trees be injected higher up? Yes. Capsules and injection sites may be placed higher up in the tree when necessary, as seen in this example. If access to the buttress roots are blocked, if the tree has a split trunk lower than 4 feet, or if there is a wound or decayed area low down on the root flare. Injection sites for multiple trunks. If the trunks diverge above 4 feet, measure and treat the same as a single trunk tree. If the trunks diverge lower than 4 feet, measure each trunk individually at breast height. Inject as close to the root flare as possible. The cells in the valleys between the buttress roots are smaller and more compressed, resulting in very slow uptake. Where not to inject. Do not inject into valleys between the buttress roots immediately above or below a wound or previous injection site. Inject on either the left or right of wounds and previous injection sites. Do not inject into dry, brown crumbling wood. Brown crumbling wood is a sign of decay. Use a mallet to tap on the tree to see if the rot is just in the one area or is spread farther. This may indicate a more extensive problem with the vascular system of the tree. Determining the number of capsules or injection sites. For most Mauget products, measure the tree at breast height in inches, approximately 4.5 feet above the ground. If measuring the diameter, dBH, divide that number by 2. If measuring the circumference, cBH, divide that number by 6. If the measurement results in an odd number, round up to the higher number of capsules. For example, if the dBH is 21 inches, you would use 11 capsules. Injection sites should be spaced as evenly as possible around the circumference of the tree. Typically, the sites are 5 to 6 inches apart. Dosage, number of capsules. Calculating the number of capsules is very easy. Again, round up if the measurement results in an odd number. In this example, we are measuring the same tree, and as you can see, the number of capsules is the same whether measuring diameter or circumference. Diameter in inches, dBH divided by 2 equals number of capsules. Example, 10 inches dBH divided by 2 equals 5. Circumference in inches, cBH divided by 6 equals number of capsules. Example, 30 inches cBH divided by 6 equals 5. Dosage, volume of capsule. These are general guidelines to determine the milliliter capsule size based on this size of the tree. Always read and follow all label directions. 2 milliliter capsule, 2 to 10 inches dBH. 3 milliliter capsule, 10 to 36 inches dBH. 4 milliliter capsule, 36 inches dBH and above. Do not inject trees smaller than 2 inches dBH. Mauget capsules for insecticides and fungicides are packed in several different volume capsules. The lower volume capsules are used on smaller trees, and the larger volume capsules are used on larger trees. Dosage, number of injection sites. Many Mauget products are also available in HP 1-liter bottles. Mauget recommends injecting HP products with a Smart Shot or ChemJet. However, Mauget's chemistry is compatible with most reloadable trunk injection systems, giving you the option to use your favorite. As with capsules, the injection site should be spaced 5 to 6 inches apart around the base of the tree. The guidelines discussed above for condition of the tree, location of wounds, multiple trunks, or other obstructions would remain the same. To determine the dosage, there are a couple of simple calculations needed. First, we will calculate the number of injection sites. Diameter in inches, dBH divided by 2 equals number of injection sites. For example, 20 inches dBH divided by 2 equals 10 injection sites. Circumference in inches, cBH, divided by 6 equals number of injection sites. For example, 60 inches cBH divided by 6 equals 10 injection sites. In this example, we are measuring the same tree, and as you see, the number of injection sites is the same whether measuring diameter or circumference. Dosage for HP Mauget's 1 liter bottles. Next, we need to calculate how much product to inject. Let's use Abicide 2 HP to calculate the total milliliters and injection sites for a 20-inch dBH tree. Using the chart pictured here, we see for a 20-inch dBH tree, the rate of injection is 1.5 milliliters per dBH inch. 20 inches dBH times 1.5 milliliters equals a total of 30 milliliters needed to treat this tree. Using the formula from the previous slide, we know to divide the dBH by 2 to determine the number of injection sites. So for this 20-inch dBH tree, we will need 10 injection sites. Now, we divide the total dosage by the number of injection sites to determine how much to inject per site. For this example, 30 milliliters divided by 10 equals 3 milliliters per injection site. Doses may vary from product to product. Always read and follow the label directions before injecting, whether using the HP bottles or capsules. Also remember, Mauget does not recommend injecting trees smaller than 2 inches dBH. Factors affecting dose rate. Several factors affect the dose rate, such as thin or damaged crown, large leafy canopy, heavy infestation of insects. Experience will help you better assess adjustments you will need to take into account that may alter the number of capsules and amount of material you inject. Mauget has years of experience that you can draw on if you have any questions. Once you have determined how many capsules or injection sites you will use, the next step is learning how to properly inject a tree. To learn those steps, go to the next presentation in the series, How to Microinject Part 2.